Trent Alexander-Arnold is in the worst form since he started playing professional football. Despite Jurgen Klopp still praising him, the Liverpool fans are starting to lose patience. Some say he could win the Ballon d'Or, and some say he should be benched. What is happening with him? Why hasn't he played a single minute for England's national team? Let's find out. Trent Alexander-Arnold is a right-back defender for FC Liverpool. With only 23 years on his back, he could become one of the best right-back defenders in the world, at least according to Gary Neville. With a £9 million annual salary, we can safely say that Alexander is a young superstar defender with a lot of potential. I heard even FC Barcelona wants him in their ranks. Early life. Born and raised in West Derby, near Liverpool training grounds, Trent Alexander-Arnold is a Liverpool Academy graduate in the truest sense of the word. He started playing football with his two brothers, Tyler and Marcel. Joined Liverpool's academy when he was 6 years old. Being the best player in the academy, he would often accompany the first squad when they walked out of the tunnel. There is a photo of him standing next to Liverpool's former captain, Jamie Carragher. Trent kept on improving and advancing through the ranks of Liverpool's academy. He was the captain of their U16 and U18 team. Even the biggest Liverpool legend, Steven Gerrard, in his autobiography, wrote that young T had a promising future in the club. Gerrard was also responsible for pushing him to the first squad. When he was 18, he made his senior debut. The next year, he won the club's Young Player of the Season award. The first time T started for Liverpool against Manchester United, something unexpected happened. His mother started crying. Then she told her son that her mother and his maternal grandmother was once the girlfriend of Sir Alex Ferguson, legendary United manager. In his first 2 years playing for Liverpool, T won almost everything. He played back-to-back UEFA Champions League finals in 2018 and 2019. In 2019, Liverpool won the Champions League, and T got named to the Champions League squad of the season. He was the youngest player ever to start in 2 consecutive Champions League finals. In 2019, Liverpool won the international treble, the Club World Cup, UEFA Super Cup, and UEFA Champions League. Alexander was playing so well that he received the Young Player of the Year award in the Premier League. The next season, after 30 years, they managed to win the Premier League trophy. His style of play is somewhat unusual for a right back. He is very offensive-oriented, and he has the ability to create great opportunities for his teammates. He is very creative with the ball, and since he played in the midfield when he was in Liverpool's academy, he could make an accurate pass from anywhere on the field. One of the best performances of his craft and intelligence was his assist in the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League. Even Cafu, who was a 2-time World Cup winner and one of the best defenders to ever play in the Italian league, praised T, saying, "He's a sensational player, a rare talent. He's technically brilliant. He has so much quality. He has a Brazilian style of play. I love watching him play, and playing in such a great team will help him grow." Messi and Gary Neville also praised the young right back, saying his passing and offensive skills are unbelievable for a defender. His preferred style of play and where he shines the most are transitions and open field. He can be deadly in counterattacks. However, he's often been criticized for his lack of defensive skills. He has a history of poor defensive decisions, and lately, those decisions have started to become more and more obvious. This is ironic, since T is a huge fan of chess. His father taught him chess when he was still a kid, and in 2018, Alexander even managed to play a game against the world champion Magnus Carlsen. He always said that chess was something he loved, and something that helped him upgrade his football game, since in chess, you have to think 2 or 3 moves ahead and outsmart your opponent. Well, lately, it seems Alexander hasn't been playing any chess, since his opponents managed to score on him more than in the whole of the 2019 season. Although he has been called to the national team, Gareth Southgate decided to bench him, and not just once, since Alexander is considered a world-class right-back defender, at least according to the words of FC Liverpool's manager Jurgen Klopp. It's really unusual that he didn't see any playing time in England's last 5 matches. Having 19 assists in the last season, there is no doubt Alexander could help the team offensively, but Southgate offered that Trippier is a more well-rounded option. Maybe he wanted to say that Trippier plays better in defense, which lately isn't that big of a feat. England's World Cup stage begins on November 21st against Iran, and Southgate needs to do a lot of decision-making in the meantime. As far as Trent Alexander is concerned, his team's manager has only words of praise for him. Jurgen Klopp claims he would create headlines if he gave us his honest opinion on Alexander. He is not fond of Southgate's decision to leave T on the bench for 5 games. When asked about it, he said, "I see him differently. That's clear, that's obvious. People say he's not a good defender, but that's not true. He doesn't always defend good, that's true. But we're working on it. He's only 23. It's clear he's a world-class player. Obviously, Trent could not be happier to have Klopp backing him up against all the media criticism. But facts are facts. Alexander is playing poor defense, and Liverpool is receiving a lot of goals, especially the first ones, which often dictate the tempo of the game. And now the media and the fans have joined in and created a massive negative impact on Alexander's head. He is mentally struggling, and how could he not? He's got half of England criticizing him each time he steps on the field, or in this case of England's national team, doesn't. However, even Klopp can't rationally explain Alexander's defense against Napoli in the UEFA Champions League. His body language was like he has given up. He looked lost and unwilling to try. In one particular situation, Napoli was attacking Alexander's side, and he was easily beaten down, and he didn't even try to recover or help his teammate Joe Gomez. The result was Liverpool received 3 goals in the first half. They finished the game 1-4, which was a catastrophe. Of course, it wasn't all Alexander's fault, but his frail defense was just a continuation of a bad streak he's been having. Against Fulham, Alexander Mitrovic bullied him and scored the first goal for Fulham in the Premier League. A lot of fans have pointed out that should not have been a goal if Alexander made the right decision. Obviously, his lack of experience and bad decision-making is costing Liverpool a lot. Their bad start of the season will mean that Manchester City will have a head start on their way to securing another championship. In the UEFA Champions League, Liverpool now has to respond strongly, or they risk falling out of their group. In the Premier League, Liverpool has been struggling, barely managing to get a home court draw against Brighton. Brighton's Leandro Trossard scored the first hat-trick in 13 years at Anfield. And in one of those goals, the defender was none other than our Trent Alexander-Arnold. Again, his poor defense enabled Trossard to score the first goal. Trent Alexander is a major liability to Klopp's team right now, but he's showing signs of life. In a Champions League match against the Rangers, Liverpool returned to their winning ways. Alexander scored the first goal with a beautiful free kick display. After their last 2 wins, Liverpool is now second in Group A, behind Napoli. This isn't the first time T went into this kind of dry spell, and before, he managed to grow from the experience and get better. After the game against the Rangers, in an interview, he said that he is not bothered with what people have been saying, and that he's continuing to be better, and that he trusts his team completely. After a few rough runs, he said, they are starting to pick up the winning pace. It seems like Klopp and Trent Alexander-Arnold are very much similar. They're both optimists and continue to look at those situations as something from which they could learn. It's great for such a young player to have a mentor/manager who is wise and soft-tempered and can see into the future. Otherwise, after a few rough games, Alexander would surely start warming the bench.